Welcome to the Fandom Outpost, your podcast for all things pop culture.
Hey, I'm Mark. This is
Stefan.
There we go. We went to the movies today, and every now and then some cool stuff happens. And I think today was cool stuff.
Yeah.
Which was, we saw, what did we see today?
We saw Mad Max and Mad Max 2.
Right. 1978 Mad Max and 1982 Mad Max 2. I'm referring to as Mad Max 2 and not the Road Warrior. There's a whole story about that, but we're not going to do that. But Stefan actually informed me of that they were playing. We were going to go see Dune 2, Dune Part 2.
Yep.
He hadn't seen it yet. We saw the first one together and loved it.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen it together yet and stuff. But we couldn't miss up classics. Anytime
Absolutely.
anybody can get a chance to watch classics, man, they should watch classics.
Especially on the big screen.
Oh my God, yeah. And stuff. My theater's not the best. I mean, it was rough sitting through, I guess, 3 hours of where that would have been the equivalent of Dune, though, if we saw that and stuff. But I think it's great that we did that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was good. Certain things I've always wanted to see, especially on big screen. I finally got to see Jaws last year on big screen. I even saw it in 3D.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So that was pretty great.
Yeah, I was bitching about that because I didn't get to see that 3D version.
Yep, the 3D version. It was for my first time ever, and I'm pretty sure that was the first time that I can remember ever seeing Jaws. That was a pretty great.
First time on the big screen. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I got a jump scare once that body floats up and comes out of the bottom of the boat. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
So that was great. And then I got to see Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was recently. Yeah, they've been playing at MJR.
Oh my God!
And they do it. And then I actually rewatched Lord of the Rings, the extended versions. They were doing them back to back at the Imagine, so I saw those all again on the big screen.
So I'm gonna pause for a second. So this is Stefan's first time on here with me and stuff.
It is.
Stefan's my go-to guy for movies. We'll talk hours of movies, and he introduced me to a lot of television shows. I love television. I'm a television guy. In fact, we might end up, not now, but we might end up talking about a series we both love called Justified. And then, because was it last year or the year before, they had the
last year's City
Primeval and stuff. So
that beautiful revival that came out of nowhere.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. I don't want you to fade.
Absolutely.
You get close to me, bro. It's all right. I don't need to be afraid. So he's been my television guy for years. So I think we're going to talk a little bit about television and stuff like that. We'll start having segments about TV and everything.
So get ready for that One Tree Hill talk. Yeah, if we're not talking about Chad Michael Murray, I don't think we're doing it right. Television standards.
Oh my God, One Tree Hill.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that I hope that any fan of the channel gets to discover about Stefan coming up is that this guy, he will get on a rant and it will go on, and I'll be like, I gotta stop you, or I gotta derail it. I just gotta hit the train with another train car, because he'll really go down a deep rabbit hole to be very informative in this and that and the other. And this is the kind of stuff that I think is great to talk about. This is the kind of stuff I want for the podcast. You can always check us out on, YouTube and stuff. That's always good, but you don't always need faces for stuff, people. You know what I mean? But
this is scary. I scared a white child the other day.
Conversation. It was your child.
No, it wasn't. I took my daughter to the park, and a little kid walked up, and as soon as she saw me, she turned right around.
Oh my God. Hey, how do you think I feel when I met his daughter for the first time? I was like, hey, man, stop. And I didn't even do nothing. No. And she just kind of did this whole,
you got too close, man. You got too close.
So Mad Max and Mad Max 2 on the big screen, I think are great. They hold up to today. Stefan was asking a couple of questions about the Road Warrior, because he had seen that and never really seen Mad Max, which is funny because I told him, I leaned over at one point and I was like, hey, dude, I haven't seen this thing since like 40 years on the big screen. So it was really interesting. And my interesting story about that is I saw The Road Warrior in 1982 when it came out, and then in October of that year, First Blood had come out, and it played with a double feature, and that double feature was Mad Max. So in the beginning of The Road Warrior, there's all this flashback.
Yep, flashback, just giving you an epilogue or a prologue.
Yeah, of what might have happened and stuff. And you don't really need it. You don't got to be like, oh, I don't, that's fine or whatever and stuff. You don't. But it's interesting that I, and him as well, saw part 2 before we saw part 1.
Absolutely.
And folks, you don't need to see 1 first and then part 2. They're kind of standalone movies that you could get some background for Max if you go into The Road Warrior without watching it first, but you don't really need to.
But I also think watching Mad Max first gives you a lot more questions, because what all went down in between those two? I need more answers. Give me answers, George Miller. I need to know.
Like the apocalypse stuff. That's what he's referring to. So,
what
happened?
Like, is it Australia's just this destitute apocalypse, and then in the United States they got Starbucks? Like, I don't understand.
What are we doing? Did we survive
who went
the
to
apocalypse
war?
And stuff? So I think it's funny because Mad Max often gets referred to as an apocalyptic movie. And it isn't. It's just the filming in the Outback, or not the Outback, but the filming in Australia and all that. It kind of has that vibe. It even starts with a little disclaimer at the beginning that says a few years from now. Mm-hmm. But it is not a true apocalyptic movie. I mean, there's cities and everything there, and then there's organizations and police force and everything like that. But it's not till The Road Warrior that somehow George Miller decided to say, I'm just going to wipe everything out, and then here's this and stuff.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of theories about characters and stuff, which we won't get into, which is we kind of delve in the movie theater. And kudos to you, gentlemen, sir, who was out there and watched it with us, the 3 of us.
Oh, yeah.
We should have invited him down or whatever. But
yeah, it was funny.
He just...
I think he had to get back to the North Pole.
Yeah. Oh, my God. He had curved feet. We weren't...
That could just be a joke between us.
Okay. It was really... But he toughed it out, too. So
absolutely,
it was kind of cool for... Well, Mad Max had 5 of us in there.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
And then Road Warrior only had 3, which is weird because Road Warrior, cinema-wise, is a far better production. It was distributed by Warner Brothers.
The clarity of it matches more with even like Furiosa coming out. It like those sand scenes, driving scenes.
Yep.
They got that feel of that coming out.
And the color of that was just amazing and stuff. So I think that more, I mean, I know you and I are the same opinion. I think that more theaters should do that stuff, but
absolutely,
I don't get out there. And I'm a little hurt. You should tell me more often when movies are coming out.
I always want to invite you. It's just that hike, or I don't think about it. Sometimes I don't. I just go look the day of. I don't plan it ahead. Sometimes.
Right. Well,
some of those flashback movies that they do, though, I could plan it better.
Yeah, and he, like my other 2 co-hosts at the Fandom Outpost, he lives in Michigan as well, so it's a trip. I'm the oddball out, actually, folks. Like I'm the oddball out.
He just needed to escape, It was problems.
So, but you came down here. I don't think that was an everywhere thing.
What's that?
Mad Max and Road Warrior.
No. I don't know. Honestly, and like you said, it was kismet. I
don't even know how you found that.
I literally looked for the times for Dune 2 so we could see that. Then I saw it and I was like, yeah, we got to do that.
Right.
But it does serve up well with obviously Furiosa coming out. It would have been nice if they'd done the 3rd one just to put it out there.
Yeah, and they didn't. That was weird. I would have watched that tonight. I would have kept it going. Yeah, I would have kept it going.
What's love got to do with it?
Everything, apparently. Yeah, so I would have done that one, the 3rd one and stuff. But I think that's great.
Rolling. Sorry.
Not disappointed at all, though. And I mean, at this point, folks, if you haven't seen either of them, I mean, I guess here officially we're going to say we recommend them.
I would absolutely recommend.
They're action oriented. There's very little dialogue in The Road Warrior. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Mad Max 2.
Yeah. More than I thought.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my memories of that movie were a lot less talking than there were.
Maybe it's Max that he don't have a lot of lines.
Yeah, he doesn't. But even then, he talked more than because over the years, with all of the talk, like I said, it wasn't something that stuck with me wholeheartedly, and maybe just because I was younger when they came out, and even showing, because I think the last time I would have viewed it was UPN. So that takes you back. It went through many incarnations after that, CW, and now whatever they are now. But no. So I just think it. But even all the dialogue with people I heard, I was under the assumption going in there that, like I said, my memories weren't well, that he was mute altogether. He just stopped talking. So from my knowledge and then actually seeing it, he had way more dialogue than I thought. But yes, there was. He's a
I
he's
could
just in there to get business done. And
yeah, that's the thing. He's that stoic lone warrior who's just, I have a job to do. This
Absolutely,
is my job.
yeah,
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like the epilogue.
I'm sorry. Can I just say real quick?
Yeah.
R.I.P. to Sprock. Saddest moment in the whole first movie.
Yeah, well, it's
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen Mad Max, or if you haven't seen the first Mad Max, Sprock.
Yes. Yeah.
What a name!
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Sprock is the name of their kid and stuff. And for years, I told you a story when you see that ball go rolling down the hill. My co-host Jim, and maybe it's a myth that I'm not, but he literally thought that was the kid's head rolling down the street. And even back then, I was like, "That is not the kid's head." There's no way.
But if he's remembering Road Warrior first, that prologue,
that one
prologue makes it black
it's so
and white
grainy
for
in
the
that
recap.
black and white.
It could definitely.
It looks. You can't tell what's rolling down the street. You're right.
Absolutely.
You're right. So,
but watching Mad Max, you clearly see that. Yeah, that's just
it's a colored ball.
That's the last joy he got before he left this world.
And in between the two movies, obviously his wife passes away from her injuries, which are horrific. And I've talked about underground cinema on the channel before, and underground or guerrilla filmmaking, things like that. Mad Max fits into that. It's along with Escape from New York and Taxi Driver and things like this, where back in the 70s you had a lot of grit. So think about a movie today that's going to show a mom and her child be run down by motorcycles. You're not going to see that. And if you do, it's so far off the radar that it's there for that shock value.
Yeah.
It's not going to be anything like that.
I will say I'm happy they didn't show it. If it was shot in 2024, we would have seen it. Even though it's a very woke world, that definitely would have happened somehow.
Yeah, it'd been rough. So
but they want the tears. I would have cried.
Right.
See that ball rolling away. Oh man. They would have got me.
It's rough, dude. I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, that is rough, dude. That's
that'll get you.
That's rough, yeah. So especially because I hate to say it because it makes it sound sappy, but we're parents.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So you got to feel sometimes when they do something right like that. And Mad Max 2 has none of that. There is no pull at the heartstrings. It's just like he just said, like you got to get the job done.
However, looking back, they're on motorcycles. These guys that run this. If she would have just stopped and stood to the side, pushed one of them, she would have been fine.
Maybe she could have juked a little bit, and they would have had to turn around, and it would have been this comedic thing.
There's those moments where you're like, we could have changed it. We could have changed her future. She could have easily zigzagged, but she was running away and just wasn't
zigzag.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It could have been a Frogger moment.
Love your movies, dude. We're not picking on it.
That's not dogging her. That's me talking to the woman, the character, not the real person.
Like
or
that
was amazing. Absolutely. Like let me be the angel on her shoulder.
Although so I got to bring up this scene, folks, if you've never seen it. So you could probably Google it or YouTube it or whatever. But they have their child, obviously, and he's come home to relax. He gets a shower and stuff, and the kid's on the floor playing. And I pointed this out to my wife the last time it was on TV, and I always say, I wonder when we're going to get to the point to edit it here in America, because that movie was done a long time ago, and it's from different rating and system and stuff like that. So, what's their baby playing with in the middle of the floor?
Oh, Sprock, you would think it's just a car or the ball maybe we saw rolling.
Yeah, there were some blocks in there. I saw some blocks.
Yeah, no, it was a huge revolver with the bullets right next to it. Yeah, he had a bullet in his other hand.
Oh my God.
I clocked it before they flipped scenes.
Oh my God.
He had 2 bullets in his other hand and that was
so the MFP police force, the maximum force police, whatever they're called, they carry big giant revolvers. They look like Dirty Harry 44 Magnums.
Yeah.
And Max has one, and his kid is playing on the floor. Now, I thought this version edited out him playing on the floor in the long shots. I'm not sure, but then I was just being really quiet because that close up came up and he had the barrel. And I'm like, Jesus, can you imagine if that kid put that in his mouth?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I only imagine that he did.
I'm so shocked, and I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole, but in this day and age, that somebody wouldn't get a hold of that, do something about it, because the kid.
However, the next scene that they do show him, he is playing with a car, a wooden car.
Yeah,
They did show just a little bit enough for you to see it if you're paying attention, but it's a quick.
It is crazy though, because like as soon as it came up, there was just I looked right over at Stefan, and he was just like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, that was a revolver, dude." That was wild. So, and folks, disclaimer, not trying to make fun of it or anything like that. It's just that, and I am not for censorship. That thing should be shown with all its dirty laundry and blood and guts and whatever you're going to do. So if they shot it with that kid playing with the gun on the floor, he plays with the gun on the floor, and it should be in there. I don't believe that any of these people should get a hold of an artist's work and, censor any of it, stuff like that. So, but anyway, we just wanted to rap about that for a little bit, and I think that hopefully this format, it's mainly for the podcast. You can jump on over the YouTube, obviously, and watch it. It's just going to be two guys on the screen ranting.
Yeah.
But
that's all I do. That's all I know to do.
Yeah, dude, I'm going to get them going. Trust me, as we get further down the line and stuff, I'll get them going about stuff. And there'll be stuff that I'll just sit here and go like, what the fuck? Yeah. Because either I'll have no clue or my memory is a little bit different and stuff, because we did TV a lot back in those Upham's days, UPM's days,
absolutely,
stuff like that, where we were like, wow, and then we get together and talk about the next 20 episodes of The Flash, shit like that, wondering where they're going to go, or why is we were very early on, very proud of this, by the way, with you. We were very early on talking about why is the TV DC universe killing it, and Zack Snyder, no offense to him, his movies are kind of cool, but he couldn't get it right either. And all these years later, folks, he still can't get it right. They still can't get it right. It's crazy.
Yeah, but
my man here,
CW did finally fall.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
They finally fell.
Yeah, but and then where to go to?
Yeah, but I think it became what it was when it first started with Smallville. Warner Brothers put their hand in it and said you can only do so much, and then and
we're not going down that road. I'm just saying these are the kind of things that we
would love to talk about Hitman and what he did as Raylan Givens.
I can mention that Hitman of his, dude. That bought him a house. He clearly has said that. Yeah. It bought him a house. That's why he took the paycheck.
I'm sure being the villain in Scream 2 bought him something as
well. Oh my God, dude. I'm not.
Who wouldn't fall in love with Jackie from Roseanne?
Damn, dude. Wow, you get deep cuts and shit.
Absolutely.
Dude. Oh my God. Yeah. I was gonna say that one with the kid had the powers and the tattoo on his leg. 4.
Oh, I am number 4.
Yeah,
that
Guardian.
That deserved an Oscar. And I'm mad that they didn't make a sequel to it.
Well, yeah, because
worst part about
6
it was
books
Diana
of it.
Agron,
let's
his girlfriend.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Is that her name, Diane?
Diana Agron.
Yeah,
she was from Glee.
Yeah, I know what she was from, dude. Yeah, but
she also did that movie where she was Al Pacino. Nope, Robert De Niro's daughter, and Michelle Pfeiffer, and was it The Family? Is that what it's called? I don't know. It was just a weird movie that came out and was gone.
This is what I'm talking about, folks. Yeah. I'm telling you, if this is my live version, this is my live version of 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, dude.
Except Kevin Bacon will never be around. I do love Kevin Bacon, but no.
But I swear to God, dude, we'll jump from one to the other. But we don't have that kind of time to always do that kind of stuff. But I'm glad we were able to sit down and do this. A couple of photos we took in the theater and stuff, and we did a little hot take on it and everything. But I'm glad we were able to sit down and at least talk about these 2 classic movies that, in this day and age, man, I don't ever hear them mentioned. Like, they don't get a lot of love. They're in the classics genre for a reason, I mean, it's not like I pull it out and watch them every year or whatever and stuff, but,
But I also think them bringing out Tom Hardy's Fury Road and stuff was a little way of them rebooting. So I think that's why it pushes those to the side. But there are definitely some, especially early filmmaking before Mel Gibson was, Mel Gibson,
yeah.
or he was Riggs. He was Mad Max.
He was
and
Riggs.
Yeah, but he was definitely Mad Max.
Look who he started at Riggs.
Yeah, but he definitely should have his due for that, for what that was and what it encompassed and where he came from and went to. And they were great.
Absolutely. You know what? I love that he brought that up, because no matter your opinions, like I'm the same way. I discussed this with some people the other day. No matter your opinions of whatever happened to Mel Gibson and what you think of him today, that dude has given us some fan-fucking-tastic cinema. Okay? Absolutely. It's just like
some good paparazzi videos too, because I don't care what anyone says. That video on TMZ was pretty funny.
Anyway, but like the subject that I brought up with is like a particular athlete who fell from grace.
Yeah,
do you recognize him? Because what if you were that child growing up in that era, watching the records being broken, watching the athlete play? Does it get tainted, or do you say like, I'm not doing all that, Or what about a certain singer?
Yeah, well, that's a little tainted.
But we see what I'm saying though, is like people.
AJ, but no.
Hey,
I'm just joking.
What I'm saying,
I definitely think it is one of those things where, but I have seen Mel Gibson come back though. He's done some movies and he's done
some good ones that I've enjoyed.
They might not be huge, but they're being
right.
He got to play Mark Wahlberg's father in that movie, and that was pretty good.
Parents one? Yeah, I know.
I can't remember what it was called.
Was it Daddy's Home? Or?
Daddy's Home too, yes.
Daddy's Home too.
We got seriously, he's got
some comedic chops too. I mean, he can play that kind of stuff.
Some good action movies coming back, even though it wasn't, I don't think it was the level of what.
He'll never return to.
But I think it could be. It's just got to be the certain thing. It's got to be. I know there are a couple things that he's got on the pipeline. I just don't think they've. With writer strikes and COVID, I think he kind of put it on the back burner. But I think there are some things coming out with him that actually might, be a little bit bigger than.
I'm a fan. I'll always be a fan. I love Mel Gibson. I always have. Ever since back in the day at those movies, I've followed his career the entire time. Who's the guy that does Expendables? Who's it?
Sylvester Stallone.
Stallone. Oh my God! Sorry about that, folks. Sylvester Stallone gave Mel. She played.
He used to box too, so that's why I remember.
he used to. Anyway, he asked Mel Gibson to be one of the villains, which was not a very memorable role, but it's kind of cool to do that kind of stuff. There are stars that won't touch villain roles, and there are stars that do a villain one time, and they should win an Academy Award for it. I'm talking about Tom Cruise in Collateral. Because that Michael Mann film is, everybody knows how I feel about that. And that's the only time Tom Cruise has ever played a villain. And he knocked it out the park.
He had pretty decent, well, I guess he was hit or miss. But Tropic Thunder, he was kind of a villain in that.
No, he's just a shrewd, nasty businessman.
He was a villain to someone. That
Taiwanese dude. Yeah, dude. Dude, all them guys.
He will mess you up. I watch my language, kid goggles and everything.
Yeah,
but no, it was definitely one of those things where like he has it in him. He definitely has it in him. But yeah, he wants to be the hero. Everyone has at this point though. He's going to Ethan Hunt until he can't Ethan Hunt anymore. Get it? You got it.
All right, folks. Well, we're going to call that one a night. We're going to end on that one.
Mad Max.
I can't do better than that.
That's how we started. Mad Max.
So, but I'm just saying I can't do better than that either.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I thank to my boy Stefan here for joining me for this. And,
thank you for having me.
I'm not my co-host Bob, which is always join us on Facebook and Instagram and the YouTube channel and all that. That's usually not my forte, but these conversations, I don't know what we're doing with them yet, but I like this one a lot. Absolutely. So I think conversations over coffee, so to speak, that kind of thing. Just a small subject and
absolutely. And I'm still working on my delivery, so if you hear mumbling, I will make sure subtitles are made for you. It might be. You might hear. I'll get subtitles. I knew what I meant when I said.
If you notice, folks, I kept trying to get him into the camera over here,
Yeah.
So he's leaning into that computer, boy. I tell you,
I have something known as dumb mouth, so sometimes it comes out not the way I wanted it, but there's There's dialogue.
Dumb mouth.
Hey, I invented it when I heard myself talking to my microphone the other day.
Okay. we're going to end on that. So thanks for joining us on this
Thank
little
you for having
recap about Mad Max and Mad Max 2. That was a lot of fun.
Yep.
So we'll see you next time and figure out what we can talk about next time.
See you next time.
It was great. Oh my God. I'm going to have to show that Nikki and be like, hey man, can you please edit this for me or show me how to